Welcome, dear souls. You are here today because you are walking a path that not many understand. You have seen darkness. You have felt the weight of the world on your shoulders. And yet, here you are, still standing, still fighting, still glowing brighter with every step. This is your journey, a journey that has led you from confusion and pain to clarity and peace. And it is God's hand that has guided you through every storm, every obstacle, every tear. But before this light, before this peace that now fills your heart, you remember the days when things were much harder. Back then, the sun didn't seem to shine as bright, and hope felt like a distant memory. You trusted in God's plan even when you couldn't see where He was leading you. You held on, sometimes barely, but you never let go. And now, look at where you are. You've won battles, climbed mountains, and emerged stronger than you ever thought possible. There was a time when life felt heavy. You were surrounded by people. Some who lifted you up and others who seemed to pull you down at every opportunity. You know the ones. They couldn't understand what it was about you that made you different. It wasn't something you could see, but they felt it in your aura, in your presence. There was something they couldn't quite put their finger on, something that disturbed them, something that made them feel uneasy. And instead of searching their hearts for the answer, they chose to target you. They started whispering behind your back, gossiping, turning your words against you. They spread lies, twisting everything you said, making you out to be arrogant or full of yourself. They convinced others to see you the way they did, a threat, an enigma. There were moments when you wondered if they were right. Maybe something was wrong with you. Maybe you weren't like everyone else. And maybe that wasn't a good thing. You began to doubt yourself, question your worth. And for a while, their voices seemed louder than the truth inside your heart. But through it all, you trusted God. Even when you didn't understand why these people were targeting you, why they were so determined to make you feel small, you held on. Deep down, you knew there was a reason, a greater purpose behind it all. And as time went on, that purpose became clearer. The more they attacked, the more you realized who these people really were. They weren't stronger than you. They were weaker. So weak that they needed to bring you down to feel better about themselves. They were insecure, threatened by the light inside you, even though they didn't understand what that light was. You began to see their true colors, and with that vision came the power to protect yourself. No longer did you allow their words to define you. No longer did you let their lies take root in your mind. You learned to rise above their gossip, to stand firm in your truth. The devil uses people like that to try to break you, to shake your faith, but you stood strong. You knew that your strength came not from them, not even from yourself, but from God. He was your rock, your shield, your fortress. And God, He never left your side. He saw every tear you cried, heard every prayer you whispered in the dark. And He trusted you. He knew that you had the strength to face these obstacles. And He knew that you would come out on the other side stronger than ever before. Now you stand in a place of peace. You feel it in your heart, in your soul. This deep, unshakable peace that comes from knowing you are exactly where you're meant to be. You've come through the fire, and now you glow brighter than ever before. You trust in God's plan. And you know that no weapon formed against you can prosper. Isaiah 54:17. You have seen the enemy try to break you, but every attack has only made you stronger. And that peace? It's not just the absence of conflict. It's the presence of God's love in every corner of your life. It's the knowledge that no matter what comes your way, you are protected. It's the confidence that every obstacle is just another opportunity for growth, another chance to trust in God's will. Those people who tried to tear you down, they don't have the power they once did. In fact, they never had any real power over you, only the power you allowed them to have. And now, you see them for what they are. Lost, broken souls who have forgotten what it means to walk in God's light. As you have risen, as you have found peace, those same people who once targeted you are still stuck in their darkness. They may have thought that by bringing you down, they could elevate themselves. But the truth is, they only brought themselves lower. They live in a world of shadows, where lies and deceit are their currency. They have forgotten God, forgotten the peace that comes from walking in His truth. While you were learning to trust in God, they were chasing after the approval of the world. While you were growing stronger in your faith, they were weakening, giving in to the devil's temptations. And now they find themselves in a place where nothing satisfies them. They thought they could find peace by destroying you, but instead, they've destroyed themselves. They are fading. Their lives, once filled with noise and drama, are now empty. They feel the weight of their choices, the consequences of turning away from God. They are lost in their own lies, unable to find the truth because they have rejected it for so long. And the saddest part? Many of them don't even realize what they've done. They've forgotten what it feels like to walk in the light, to feel the warmth of God's love. They are numb, disconnected from the source of all that is good and pure. Look at the difference between your life and theirs. You have peace, not because your life is perfect, but because you have God. They have chaos, not because they face more challenges than you, but because they don't have Him. The devil has led them down a path of destruction, and unless they turn back to God, their lives will continue to spiral out of control. And now, you can rest in the peace that comes from knowing you are walking the right path. You don't have to worry about what others think of you. You don't have to fear their gossip, their lies, their attempts to bring you down. You are protected by a higher power, and nothing can touch you unless God allows it. You see, the devil's greatest weapon is lies. He wraps those lies up in pretty packages, disguises them as something desirable, and presents them to you at your weakest moments. He'll tell you that you're not enough. He'll whisper that your struggle will never end, that God has abandoned you, and that you're alone in this world. But let me tell you, those are lies, straight from the pit of hell. For he is a liar and the father of lies. John 8:44. You, chosen ones, are different because you walk in the light. That light inside of you is the truth, the purity, the presence of God. And those who target you, they don't understand that light because they are consumed by lies. Lies that make them believe they need to tear you down to feel whole. But let me tell you something about malice, about those who seek to harm you. Their malice will reflect back on them sooner or later. What they send out into the world will come back around. You don't need to wish them ill, because they have already sown the seeds of their own downfall. They will reap what they have sown. Do not be deceived. God cannot be mocked. A man reaps what he sows. Galatians 6:7. But don't get this twisted. This isn't about revenge. Oh no. This is about balance. The balance of right and wrong that God Himself set into motion. When you walk in the light, you are part of that divine balance. You know what's right, you feel it in your soul. And when you hold on to that truth, when you live your life according to the principle that right should be right, you are aligning yourself with God's perfect will. Now, let me tell you something else. Not everyone who has harmed you is truly evil. Some of them are weak. Weak in spirit, weak in mind, weak in heart. They are broken people, dealing with their own trauma, their own chaos, and they lash out at you because they don't know how to handle their own pain. They see your strength, your light, and it reminds them of what they don't have, what they believe they can never attain. And that weakness turns into envy, jealousy, and sometimes even hatred. Some of them feel like it's too late for them. They look at their lives and see only what's been wasted. They think, it's over for me, I've gone too far, I've made too many mistakes. But I'm here to tell you right now, God's love doesn't have an expiration date. His mercy endures forever. And if they would only turn back, if they would open their hearts to Him, they would find the peace they've been chasing in all the wrong places. But here's the hard truth. Not all of them will. Some of them have turned so far away from God that they don't even remember what His voice sounds like. They've chosen the devil's path, and they walk in darkness now. It's not your place to judge them for that. That's God's job. Do not judge, or you too will be judged. Matthew 7:1. Your job is to keep walking in the light, to keep doing what's right, no matter what. Leave them in God's hands, or if they've chosen it, leave them in the devil's hands. It's not for you to decide their fate. But look at your own life now. Look at how far you've come. All those prayers you sent up when you were surrounded by darkness. All those moments when you thought, I can't take it anymore. God heard every single one of them. And now you feel the difference, don't you? Now you see your life getting better and better. You've learned to protect your heart, protect your mind, and protect your peace. And God has honored that. He has lifted you up because you never stopped believing that right should be right, that good should prevail. Now you can rest in the knowledge that you are covered by God's grace. You have peace that surpasses all understanding, Philippians 4:7. And no one can take that from you. It doesn't matter what people say about you, what lies they tell, or what traps they set. You are walking with God, and as long as you stay on that path, nothing and no one can stop you. And when those same people come back to test you, to push your buttons, to try to get a reaction out of you, remember this. Self-control is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. The devil will always try to make you angry, make you lash out, make you act in ways that go against who you really are. But you know better now. You know that the strongest person is not the one who strikes first, but the one who holds their peace. A gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. Proverbs 15:1. You've mastered that, chosen one. You know how to control yourself even when every fiber of your being is screaming to react. And that's why the devil hates you, because he can't break you. So keep doing good, even when they make you angry. keep controlling yourself, even when they push you to the edge. And keep walking in the light, because that's where your strength comes from. The devil can't stand it when you refuse to play his games. When you stay calm, when you keep your heart pure, you deny him access to your soul, and that frustrates him more than anything. Life is a balance, dear souls. It's a delicate dance between light and darkness, between God and the devil. And every day you get to choose which side you're on. Every day you decide whether to give in to the lies or to stand firm in the truth. And for those of you who have chosen the light, you know how good it feels to walk in God's truth. You know the peace that comes from knowing you are exactly where you need to be, doing exactly what you were created to do. And for those who haven't, for those who are still struggling, know this: it's never too late to turn back to God. It's never too late to choose the right path. But you have to be willing to let go of the lies, let go of the envy, let go of the pain that's been holding you back. You have to be willing to trust in God's plan, even when you can't see the way forward. To all of you watching, remember this: God's love is constant. It never fades, never wavers. And when you align yourself with that love, when you walk in His light, you become unstoppable. Yes, life will still have its challenges. Yes, there will be days when it feels like the whole world is against you. But as long as you keep your faith, as long as you keep doing what's right, you will always come out on top. God is for you, not against you. And if God is for you, who can be against you? Romans 8:31. So, keep praying, keep believing, keep walking in the light, and trust that every good deed, every act of kindness, every moment of self-control is planting a seed that will one day grow into something beautiful. You may not see it now, but God is always working behind the scenes, preparing something greater than you could ever imagine. Can I get an amen?